what's wrong with these content management systems? Actually, I'm going to look at 5 ways to deploy content and tell you what's right and what's wrong about each one in a real quick hot take. First of all, Webflow. Webflow is a content management system that is a SaaS product. There are many of these like Wix and Squarespace, and you've probably heard of many of them. And they're popular for creating blogs because they're super easy to use. The only problem is, A, you have to pay for it. And then if you come up against a blocker or something that the site wasn't really intended to do, you may need a developer anyway to take care of it. WordPress. Now, WordPress is super popular and everybody loves WordPress, especially because it's kind of the gold standard for SEO, or at least it was. But the reality is that most of the other systems have kind of caught up on the SEO, or at least you have options to do SEO just as well as you can with your WordPress site. The second thing is that from a WordPress standpoint, it is the most commonly used content management system on the planet. It is self-hosted and open source and is an enormous target for hackers. And it is the most commonly hacked type of website on the internet. The next one is a content management extension. So let's say your store is built in Magento, and I'm just using Magento as an example here. You may have some other way of building out your primary application, which could be a web store, could be an education platform, whatever it is that you're using. A lot of times they'll have plugins or they'll have ways to extend the capability. And what you end up with is, hey, I have one admin panel for managing content, whether it's marketing content or it might be product content. It's easy to stitch that content together because usually they're kind of sharing a database, or they have, parallel databases working side by side. The big disadvantage of these is this disadvantage that you have in other Magento and other open source systems is when you start adding plugins, you start kind of playing with incompatibility, and you're somewhat reliant on whoever provides the extension to keep that thing up so that you can keep your site secure and keep upgrading your core application. So the next one is Hugo or Jekyll. There are a number of different static site generators, and Hugo is great, but it's fantastic if you're a developer. So for a developer agency like ours, Hugo was a great way to implement content because pretty much developers are writing the content anyway. So it's great for that. But if you have people that are not developers writing content, it can become really, really frustrating to work with. So there is another way to kind of have your cake and eat it too. And this is using something like Cloud Cannon and which is a content management system API. So I have a place where my content creators can go through and make really nice pages and blog posts and kind of whatever they want to do. And it doesn't require a developer either to design it or to launch it. Don't need to have a developer involved at all. I do have to have a developer set up the system. This does come with a small subscription fee for my content management system, but this gives me a great way to do it and kind of negates one of the advantages of WordPress, which is WordPress is great if you have a lot of different people writing content, because then you can give them editor status or writer status or what have you, and it's great for managing kind of your content ecosystem. But really, if you only have a few people managing content, then one of these APIs is a great way to go. In fact, we just built our latest version of our website using Hugo and Cloud Cannon, and we're extremely happy with the results. We have a longer video of this that I'll post a link to in the comments.